Everybody, it's Steph from Not Moving Podcast. So Stephen A. Smith finally chimes in. I'm sure people were waiting to hear what he has to say about the whole Shannon Sharpe situation, man, being accused of some allegations, some pretty strong ones, and being sued for $50 million. And, you know, up until this point, you know, it's just kind of like, I mean, how everything has unfolded has been absolutely wild, right? I mean, we go just a couple of days ago from being off, you know, not offered, but you know, his company seems to be lining up for a $100 million deal or / evaluation for a deal worth that much. And then we have massive lawsuit, you know, that rocks yesterday. Okay. And then we get the same day we get release of the exchange. And then we hear about, you know, the settlement offer and everything. And then Shannon Sharpe, you know, he drops his video saying about how he's being extorted and saying how Mr. Busby goes after black men, X, Y, and Z. And, you know, I in my last vid just recently about this, I was like, man, I don't know if I can watch First Take, honestly, with just Shannon Sharpe's face on it. You know what I'm saying? It just seems very hypocritical of Shannon Sharpe's behavior and how he got himself jammed up in this. Right? I mean, always protect the bag. But I'm going to go ahead and play what Stephen A. Smith has to say. And I mean, I'll give my thoughts once it's finished, but I may interrupt here and there, but maybe not.
His client emphatically proclaims his guilt. So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Those are other folks.
Right. And just reading body language and stuff, Stephen A. Smith already knows the answer of what's probably going to happen. Most likely. Okay, we know Shannon Sharpe signed a contract and was brought in by Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith is disappointed. You know, I don't know how much went behind the scenes for the whole IG Live slip up that happened. Okay, and how much Stephen A. Smith probably had to smooth things over. Okay, it is his show. He just likes to list off, I'm the producer, executive producer. And here he is in hot water adjacent. Not that it's anything that has to do with Stephen A., but he's in hot water adjacent via Shannon Sharpe. Once again, you know, bringing Shannon Sharpe was a risk. Okay. I thought it was a good move. But clearly there's problems. You know what I'm saying? When I say risk, it's because you know how things ended at Fox, right? So, you know, Stephen A. Smith is like, you know, he's money hungry, but, you know, some of this could be his fault. Not fully knowing who Shannon is. He says he's known him for X amount of years, but does he really know Shannon Sharpe and how he moves, right? You're so quick to get ratings and get boostings, and you line your pockets up. Therefore, you're able to get your $100 million contract while the other brother is about to lose his.
There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously, and we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. And that is all he said.
I mean, this is damning, very damning. But I said in my last bit, I said I wouldn't be surprised Shannon gets fired from ESPN or gets dropped. You know, what other route do they have to go at this point? I get it. You know, we're long gone are the days of innocent until proven guilty in the eyes of public opinion. But you know, image is everything. ESPN has an image, a brand, and everything, right? You know, Stephen A. Smith cannot be associated with Shannon on this level anymore. He can't, you know, and, you know, he signed that contract and you know, he's under more control at ESPN in terms of on their platform. Okay. Yes, he's able to work in a deal that he can do these things on the side, but you just, I mean, and before it started, early in the vid, he mentions that I've spoke with ESPN that I'm going to talk about this. But he listed off the head honchos. Shannon Sharpe screwed up. Shannon Sharpe screwed up royally. It doesn't matter whether he's innocent or not. Okay. For me, is the fact that you put yourself in this situation. And Stephen A. Smith looks like a man that's very disappointed, extremely disappointed with Shannon Sharpe. Okay. I'm sure he probably spoke to Shannon about doing this, speaking about this. Okay. I'm sure he gave him the courtesy. I'm surprised that Shannon Sharpe was able to be on TV today. I know they're allegations. These are strong allegations, man. These are strong, very strong allegations. And like you said, they're taking it very seriously, as they should, right? As much as Unc Shay has all this support, you know what I'm saying? All these people supporting Shannon Sharpe. Do y'all really know Shannon Sharpe like that? I don't want to bring up his past, but he's been involved in questionable situations, and here we are. Once again, it's reared its ugly head in this form. Okay. Does Shannon Sharpe just happen to have bad luck, dealing with women in the past, accused of X, Y, and Z, then accidentally going on IG Live, then now he's being accused? You know what I'm saying? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay, that $10 million settlement, there's smoke, right? Why you want to make this go away? Why are you trying to make it go away? Shannon Sharpe fits the mold of the accusation playbook. Deny, settle, which he was probably, and here we are. Shannon Sharpe will most likely, look, regardless of what's true, I don't see, you hope Shannon wins, maybe, if you a big Shannon Sharpe supporter at this point. But at some point, you're gonna have to settle. He's much older, younger. They could play the whole, was she groomed by him, right? Did she know what she was doing? I mean, they can play that angle. You know what I'm saying? They met when she was 19 or something like that. What? What is Shannon thinking? Not really thinking with the little head, not the big head. So man, I'm not gonna play anymore. I think we kind of just understand Stephen A. Smith's settlement and all this. I'll put the link to the video in the description so you can watch the full thing without my commentary. But you guys, let me your thoughts about all this. Stephen A. Smith looks very disappointed, looks somewhat hurt because of the future partnership, hurt because of the viewership that could be lost. The additional viewership that Shannon brought could be lost, right? But Stephen A. Smith can't say Shannon Sharpe at this point. Shannon Sharpe has done himself in badly, and we will wait to see how this thing unfolds. Regardless of either direction it goes, whether it's proven that Shannon is innocent and he's not, held liable in this civil suit, doesn't matter. It's out there. All the receipts, everything is out there, and it just does not make Shannon Sharpe look good whatsoever. Stephen A. Smith is going to take a hit for this. In a certain, it looks like he's taking a personal hit. Like, it really hurt. You can just sense like it really bothers him and it hurts him. But yes, he calls Shannon Sharpe a friend, but at the same time, he's also thinking about what he's a big asset he is that he's about to lose. Right, that's the part, because Stephen A. Smith is a money hungry guy, and he's all about the dollars and cash flow, and this potentially could ruin some of that. Part of Stephen A. Smith maybe getting that contract was part tied to Shannon because he was able to land Shannon Sharpe, right? Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.